Wirecast Go. This is actually what I used to work or use at the Aquatic Experience last year. But it would drop on me every now and then, but the quality was better, so we'll try this out. Oh, there's the chat. Let me open up the chat here. Alright, so Chris Fisher made Dank Tank's in here. Brian Schuerman's in here. Hello, guys. So welcome to another Friday night live Q&A. I guess it's working. But yeah, Wirecast Go app is what I'm using right now to do this. Let me know how the quality is. Does it still look like the crappy 480p that YouTube puts out, or is it any better? Let me know. Oh, Holly White, Fish Fam Aquatics, Jack's Aquarium, Chestnut Brown, Madfish Diva. Oh, all in the chat. Oh, I gotta get used to this. Well, let me scroll there. Big Izzy, Kevin Hyatt. Alright, so I'm hoping you guys got some questions for me. It's been a long week. I tell you what. Thank you guys for all your orders last week. I had almost 100 boxes. It was insanity. Ended up having to pull an all-nighter. It was brutal. So I'm still recouping from that. And, yeah. It was rough. But I got it all done. I can't believe I got it all done. I got some good processes. I was kind of excited about it because I got good processes on getting it all done and whatnot. Nice to have you in here for a while, Brian. Have fun. So you gotta run. Much better than last week? Alright, so it sounds like the quality's getting better. So, yeah, okay, I'm seeing it on here on the playback. So I'm gonna put your guys' chat on the computer as normal. Alright, lots of hellos. Hello. Let's see, is it playing? It is playing. What's Gucci, fish friends? It's still a little pixely Lego Lucas now and then, but it's still a little better. Mike Simmons, yes, my buddy and I ordered some of your moss. Looking forward to getting it sometime next week. Awesome. Thanks for ordering, Mike. If you already ordered, you should have a tracking number. I normally only ship once a week, and I used to do it Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm trying to do it now on Thursdays because usually USPS will rush everything for 2-day shipping. Doesn't always happen, but 95% of the time it does. And to have anything, like especially fish, to go 2-day shipping is always good. It's 9:30 the normal time. It is the normal time. 9:30 Eastern time always on Friday. Been doing pretty good about not missing any of these. I don't think I have missed any yet, actually. Glass boxes. Hey Lucas, what was that stuff you helped me combat? It was like stringy black stuff in my cleated tank, and the solution was ag carbon. Can't remember what it was though. Looked like algae almost. Staghorn, probably staghorn algae. It is long and kind of black looking. Yeah, just a little carbon excel on that. It'll change its colors and it'll kill it. Ryan Brown, thank you, man, for the metallic crypt. It's like 30 bucks everywhere else. Yeah, you're welcome, Ryan Brown. Yeah, really, those crypts are a heck of a deal. A lot of people don't realize that those crypts actually go for like twice as much as what I got them for. But I've got so many, so why really charge a bunch? And man, they're beautiful crypts. I was pulling them out. It's kind of neat to pull it all out and just start getting things uncongested too. As much as it ran me to the ground, but it kept me going. And I had enough left to start the quarantine tank stand, so I started cutting boards for that today. And that's like one of the last stands I really need to get done, because I've been talking to some people about some fish, and probably gonna have some fish coming in soon, so I gotta get that done. Down in Kate Morgan, do you use CO2? Can you put one together sometime? I do got a CO2 regulator video on my channel. Tells you how to put it all together and all that. And I don't use it very much. I've got one actually right down here. I don't know if I could, yeah, here we go. Here, I get used to this new app. But yeah, right there, it's got the regulator on it. So it's more intimidating than what it really is. You just screw that on. Make sure that knob's all loose. You don't want that tight or it'll blow the gauge. Won't be the end of the world, but still it's not good for it. But I do got a video of that on my channel. It gives you the whole spiel from the tank all the way to the diffuser and everything. I only use it on a few tanks. I use it on this tank and it doesn't really make a difference. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it makes much of a difference. The biggest difference that I see when it comes to planted tanks is the ferts, when you actually dose fertilization more than CO2. Definitely makes a difference. Thanks, Tim Ainsworth. It sounds like you've been watching Shishimi's old tour of mine. Can't wait to see the new one they did. Saw Gary's, that was awesome. I love that. Fell in love. Of course, I had to text him afterwards. Be like, hey, now that I finally got to see what all's in your fish room, we need to talk. He's a cool guy. When you move the phone, it gets a little wonky. Alright, I'll try not to do that. Yeah, it's looking pretty crisp right now. This ain't too shabby. I mean, I don't know what it is. You'd think YouTube would be on their game since it is their platform and the one that is pushing it, but I have to convert back to this. That's pretty sad. I deleted this app too, thinking I'd never have to. Crips okay with Excel. Crips are okay with Excel. I've used it on them for a long time. I feel as if you asked me that question a long time ago. That kind of gave me a little deja vu. That was weird. Oh, you ordered last night, Mike. Yeah, it probably won't be till Thursday it gets sent out. But I'll make it worth it, trust me. Fish Fam Aquatics, do you crush the tetra granules when feeding rainbows? It depends on the size of them. If they're real small, I will a little bit, but for the most part, they'll eat big chunks of granules. So I don't normally, I usually, when they're over juvenile size, I'll just toss them in. But when they're itty bitty babies, definitely I crush them up. Fry will eat it. I actually, what I'll do when I'm feeding the fry, see, I'll feed another tank and it'll have dustings on my finger, and I'll just dust whatever's left on my fingers off into the tank. So it makes a tiny little bit of food. Plantman Dan Reamer says, haven't kept fish in 20 years, so your endlers are arriving tomorrow, are getting me back into it. Went out and bought a tank last weekend. It's ready though. Hot cheers. Awesome, Plant Man. That's awesome. Glad to hear you're getting back into it. Love that. Especially after such a hiatus. I think you'll enjoy them. Lumpy Dog in the house. Eddie Ortiz, what state do you live in? I'm in Indiana. Bob Kaler, I ordered some scuds and 2 varieties of plants. Can't wait to get a colony started. Tennessee here. Awesome, Bob. Yeah, I remember seeing that name. I used to live in Tennessee for a while, actually, Clarksville. All the way through elementary. I went to 5 different elementary schools. It was kind of crazy. I was always the new kid. Jason Mary, returning apprentice, recommended dead plant matter eater with 6 Bolivian ram kids and a 40-gallon breeder. I would go with Otto Sinkless. That would be the best, in my opinion. They stay small. They're cool looking. The only big problem is usually when you get them from the store because not a lot of people breed them. Pretty much, I don't know anybody who breeds them. But they usually come in with bacterial infections. So if you're having troubles with getting them to stay alive, treat them with bacterial infections. I've kept them in hard water. I've kept them in soft water. So parameters usually isn't a difference. Michael Ullman $5 super chat, kicking off the super chat, solar power fund. Heck yeah, Michael, right on. I appreciate that. I would love to get that solar power going. That'd be awesome. As I mentioned in the last live stream last Friday, that first beginning one, I don't know what happened to that first half, but it just disappeared into YouTube. I don't know if I accidentally deleted it because it was being a real pain. Anyways, we were talking about solar panels, and what I would love to do is have my roof. I want to add another level and have a flat roof, and half of it be a greenhouse, and then half of it have solar panels. I think that would be awesome. Because that's what kind of makes sense for this house, especially with us not having to leave it. We've pretty much got to build up onto it to add bedrooms. Because Wesley, he sleeps in our bed, and, you know, she wants to have another kid, and we can't be collecting kids and only having one big bedroom. I actually sleep on the couch a lot, believe it or not. That's where I'm the most comfortable, but, you know. Or is it all the trouble I get myself into? Getting amped up for Chicago, Lucas? Dwayne Kitchell asks. Yes, I'm excited for Chicago. I can't wait. Still lots to do in this fish room, so I will miss it, believe it or not. But yes, I am definitely amped up for it. Excited for the Aquascape competition with my buddy Danny Adams and Michael Sizemore. And now brought on Hantron of Hans Aquatics. I think he's going to help us out with plants and stuff like that. Which Hans is a good guy, if any of you guys know who he is. Lucas, have you ever had a heater blow up, Derek Fortune? No, I never have, luckily. I skipped a bunch of questions, I think. Okay. I wish YouTube would fix this scroll button thing. I don't know why they just don't care about their glitches whatsoever. Drives me bonkers. Famous Jones, what's the best way to combat brown algae in a 55-gallon aquarium? I love barbs, rainbows, mollies, swordtails, and a couple bristlenose. Or he has. I'm surprised the bristlenoses aren't taking care of it. Brown algae is usually diatoms. Water change, give it time. Usually means that the beneficial bacteria is kind of establishing itself. Matter of fact, after I did my whole nuclear video and did all the cleansing of the fish room, I ended up getting a lot of diatoms because the cycling was kind of getting back into its more juvenile stage. Autosynclus, love that stuff though. Another good reason to have autosynclus. Holly White, why would a species-only snowball shrimp tank produce a brown or reddish offspring? More than likely, it could, it's more than likely it was crossed somewhere down the line with another shrimp. So the genetics were mutated. I've seen mine get kind of like a pinkish orange, but I almost wonder if that's what I'm feeding them. Video became super sharp when you moved to the camera to the CO2. Yeah, a big reason for that is I'm on my front camera right now, so the back camera is going to have a lot better video. I did notice that, so that's going to be awesome at the aquatic experience. I'm planning on running through it with this. I used to battle with this app a lot for data for some reason, but now that I'm on unlimited data, hoping that it won't give me issues with it and be back to normal. But I still have some other plans for like the wireless connection down the road. It's just I've got certain projects I got to prioritize, which was great that I once again about all your guys' orders, being able to catch up on my bills and actually start my QT stands. Tim Ainsworth, I got some green spot algae starting to pop up on Anubias and swords. What's the best way to battle it? Would CO2 help? Usually it likes to die on or grow on dying leaves, so sometimes just trimming those leaves off helps, or you can just rub it off with your finger. CO2 can help, but once again a lot of it has to do with fertilizer. So if you're pumping CO2 and you're not feeding fertilizer, You can stretch your plants thin and actually kill them that way. They've got to have the nutrients to grow. That's the biggest key element to it. Brian Willard, what's your most exotic species you have? What is the most challenging part of keeping fish tanks for you? I love all your setups, very impressive. Thanks, Brian Willard. And the most exotic species, I don't know. Maybe the Dockensia assimilis from India. They're pretty rare. Like, I think they're rarer than even my rare rainbows. I know some people's had them, but I don't see them often. Excuse me, I just got done eating pizza, so you know how that goes. Then some of my rainbow fish, they're pretty rare and exotic. My blue Gularis. And also most challenging part of keeping fish tanks for you is having enough fish tanks. There's so much I want out there. The only problem is there's only so much of me, so I guess that's the biggest problem, is getting done what I want done in an amount of time. But as far as keeping them, it's not really that tough. I think a lot of people just make it harder than what it really needs to be. You should definitely try and keep it simple. I mean, it's pretty much Mother Nature in a glass box, and Mother Nature is crazy smart, adaptable, and it's crazy. Like, really, none of these tanks have any filters or anything. And the plants could grow real great. If I was actually fertilizing these plants, which actually I'm planning on doing soon, the only problem is I'm going to have to keep up with them. But I'm tired of seeing them being all weak. I'm ready to strengthen this fish room up to the next level of epicness. Ryan Brown, what LED would you buy for 20 long planted? My light is being wonky. I usually get the cheap eBay lights. The LEDs are either Fowler or Aquaneat, and I don't get the multicolored ones just because they look all blue. I usually get the white color, and it does look all funny when I move around. But anyways, I usually get the white color, and the thing is, a lot of those lights will shine too bright for the tank. So people make these risers, 3D risers, and I've been learning this in my fish room. You see here, my light is actually attached to the top of my stand. This has made a huge difference in how much algae I've had in my fish room. It could have went one of two ways. I could have quit having algae, or it could have just started killing all my plants. And luckily, it went the way it should have went. And now that I've got all my lights, my LEDs, this is a T5, but I did the same thing with my LEDs over my 10s and 20s. And it made a huge difference. A lot of people overlight if they don't have enough plants and fertilizer and CO2. So it's all about balance of all those things. Dank Tanks, if you were going to breed rummy nose, how would you go about it? I would try that basket technique that I've been using outside. I recently did a video where I've got those sponge foam, pool foam like things, and I've tied them onto the aquaponic basket, plant aquaponic basket, since they're egg scatterers. And the thing with breeding tetras, I think the trickiest part of it is the fact that the incubation time of the eggs is only 24 hours, some 48 hours, and it's really tricky to know whether they're breeding them and catching them. Like, you have to keep an eye on them if you're really trying to do it. With that breeder basket way, they could drop the eggs and you may not even be there to see it, and they will still be safe from the parents. And it would take them a bit to actually get eaten and find their way back in. I think a good thing to do too would put like a thing with rocks on it and then something flat. I heard Dwayne Kitchell, actually, he sent me an email about this a long time ago, about these tetra breeders. What they would do is put like a flat piece of slate or something So the baby tetras have something to stick to, and they don't have a whole lot of depth to get to something to stick to, because they like to stick to the glass and everything else. And I guess the success rate was a lot better by doing that. So I plan on adding that into it as well. Let's see. Hey, how's it going? I'm trying to get in the shrimp game. Can you give me tips and advice? Carlos Fernandez. The best thing to do is figure out your water. Figure out your TDS, how hard your water is, and put the right shrimp to the right water. So Caradinas, they're going to like the softer water. Now tiger Caradinas, you can get away with keeping them in between and a little harder, and Neos if you got real hard water. So that's the biggest key. Now some of the Caradinas, you start getting into those, the softer water, they also need some acidic substrates. I've been keeping my red crystals in Eco Complete, but that I haven't done that successfully with the Taiwan B, and I do believe they do need acidic substrate. So as long as you remember that stuff, that should get you going. They love moss, basic setups. Doesn't really take much fancy. I've seen shrimp live in filters. May have asked that before. Friday is the weekend. Oh. Let's see. Questions.